On today's episode, we grade the youngsters in the Summer League for the Washington Wizards. Hear what we have to say next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, this is Locked On Wizards, where you're a part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, alongside DC sports content creating savant and credentialed media member for the Washington Wizards. That's Abdullah Yubi. Check him out on Instagram, the DMV Sports Zone page. I am Ben Strober, and I cover all things DC sports for 106.7 The Fan and the Team 980. You heard it in the intro. And before we get into that, let's get into today's sponsor real quick. We are sponsored by FanDuel. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Busy day around the district, and obviously we're getting into the dog days of summer here, Abdullah, for us creating Wizards content. There isn't a lot going around, and this is what we like to call list season in the radio business, because all the content you see right now on the radio, on websites, is lists, people listing things, creating rankings. And today we join that party by giving out some grades for the Summer League, because I don't think you and I have really had the chance to do that. We've had a lot of opportunities to talk about some things we've liked, didn't like about the Summer League, but let's make it a little bit more fun. Have us do the assessment here and give some grades to some of the key guys that we've seen in the Summer League. And I think it's only right that we start with the first round picks from this year. So we'll go with the number 6 overall pick in Trey Johnson, who flashed a ton throughout the Summer League. Abdullah, what's your grade?
Yeah, I got to give him an A, Ben. I think Trey Johnson played a really good Summer League. The first bucket that he scored off of Colin Malawach's leg, and he just looks so comfortable out there. No shot looks difficult for him. And against the Brooklyn Nets, where he one-on-one ISO time drew a foul. This dude, I think they have so much confidence in him that there's a big reason why he didn't play in that third Summer League game and getting ready for him in the regular season. I just think what he did in Texas is going to translate in the NBA, so I got to give him an A. A plus. I mean, I don't know what he could have improved on. Maybe defensively could have been a little more better, but that's one thing that he's going to definitely work on, because that's what Will Dawkins harped on him pre-draft. But I give him an A, Ben, because, again, the guy just looks like a basketball player out there.
I'm also going to give him an A, just because I think offensively it's a very small sample size from what we were able to see from him, but 19.5 points per game in the 2-game span. That was good for top 10 in the NBA Summer League. I was the most impressed with what he was able to do with the basketball in his hands, because the rap on him coming out of school is that he was not great at taking the ball off the dribble and getting to the basket. Struggled a little bit to create his own shot from that realm, not to create his own shot, period, because we did see the flashes of that throughout the Summer League as well, when he was able to dribble around and create space for himself on the perimeter to get an open jump shot. But no, we saw this player in Trey Johnson that could get the basketball, and if you tell him that you need him to go get you a bucket, he goes out there and he can do it. He's a guy that is so fluid in the way he moves offensively, came off screens really well, great floor spacing. He just looked like a floor general out there, not to mention that his playmaking ability was also on full display throughout the Summer League. And then we cannot forget about how he was defensively in the Summer League. I know that's something that we can't really get too much of an assessment on, because it is the Summer League and you're not facing the offensive talent that you're going to face in the regular season, but effort and tenacity from Trey Johnson on the defensive side of the basketball, that's something we didn't know about his game prior to playing in the Summer League. And those teams, or on the one team he played for, Texas, in his freshman season, putting that Longhorn team on his back. Didn't see a whole lot from him defensively, because I think he was so gassed, having to basically will that Texas team to a 6-12 record in the SEC, which was still good enough to get them to the NCAA tournament, put up some really nice performances in the tournament as well. But defensively, he looked like an animal out there. He looked like a guy that could guard 1 through 3 pretty well because of the speed, because of the length that he possesses at 6'5". There were so many things to like about what he was able to do on both ends of the floor. But I'm just also enamored at the way he scored the basketball. He looked like someone had been out there doing it for multiple years already. And as I mentioned, you're not facing the same competition here in the summer league, but there was a level of confidence to his game that we are not used to seeing a player playing in his first NBA minutes. That is something that I think you can't overlook here, and that's why he gets an A for me.
And I think he has a really, really good shot, Ben, of winning Rookie of the Year, just because I think the reps that he's going to get come the regular season, the opportunities, the open shots. Again, Cooper Flag, I think that's going to be the guy that he's going to go up against. I love Edgecombe. He's a really good guy, but you got Maxey and McCain and B situation, so we'll have to see how that pans out. But and Paul George as well. But I think right now, Trey Johnson, it's just I can't wait to see how he does opening night. It's going to be interesting to see how they balance out his minutes with CJ McCollum, because CJ McCollum can still hoop. Last year against the Wizards, he dropped 50. So balancing that along with mentorship, but also making sure the guy develops in his rookie year, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. And I definitely think Coach Keefe's going to do a good job on it.
I 100% am with you there, Abdul. I will place my bet on FanDuel for Trey Johnson to win Rookie of the Year at some point. I will place that bet, and I will be sure to let the Locked On audience know. Let us know. Are you going to put down a bet for Trey Johnson to win Rookie of the Year? If you are, let's all squad ride this.
You have
together.
to lock in Ben him being a finalist, because Alex Sarr didn't even finish a finalist in the top three, which is insane to me.
I thought he should have been a finalist for sure. That was kind of ridiculous last year, but we move forward, and we move forward with our grades. 21st overall pick, Will Riley, and I'll go first here. I'm going to give him a B- because I think the first game versus the second game, we saw two different versions of Will Riley. I know this is kind of going to be a situation where maybe the coaching staff, Brian Keefe and Will Dawkins' regime here, they kind of ease him into some things. I think the first game, he looked a little bit more passive to me offensively, didn't look fluid. And he wasn't really going for the shot that you wanted to see from him. I think he's a guy that's going to thrive off catch and shoot opportunities. And he's a guy that we heard Chris Miller in the interview 2 days ago say that Brad Underwood called him one of the best tough shot makers. I think he said he was the second best tough shot maker he ever coached behind Malik Beasley. So some high praise there from the head coach, Brad Underwood of Illinois. And we saw flashes of that throughout the summer league. I think in the second game against Brooklyn, we saw him make a couple really tough shots. The one that stuck out to me came right off the inbound, actually kind of came right onto the right wing, caught the ball, and off balance, nearly on one leg, took a contested three-point shot, knocked that down. We saw him get a bucket and one at the rim. I think there were a lot of different flashes to his game that we saw throughout the summer league, but 2 games, a pretty small sample size, and first game looked pretty different from the second one. So I'll give him a B- just because I think there wasn't a whole lot on tape I could really say to give him much else.
I'll give him a B. I think Will Riley, like you mentioned, it was a 9-day difference from game 1 and game 2 of the summer league. I think offensively with that frame and that shot making, we're hoping, because I think he's going to – I think he potentially maybe a Keyshawn George 2.0. Again, 2 different guys, size and all, but if you can have 2 Keyshawn Georges on your team, that would be amazing. And going back to the draft, I was kind of concerned because we didn't pick a big at that second first-round pick. We were thinking that we were going to get that big man to solidify this front court. But also you trade away Walter Clayton Jr. from going from 18 to 21. So a lot of people are, kind of concerned about that selection. But I think Will Riley is going to pan out. Definitely got the jitters out that game 2. And he had a nice move going into the lane. I think whether it was game 1 or game 2, a nice finesse on the layup. I think he's going to be just fine. I think if he can provide that microwave scoring off the bench, will he start maybe a couple games? Injuries could happen. Who knows, knocking on wood here. But I think a B is a really good grade for him because he only got better from game 1 and game 2. That's what Summer League is about, getting better and making sure that you shake it off and keep on going.
Yeah, one thing we're going to find out throughout the regular season is how the rotations are going to change so many times throughout the year. And I think Linnell alluded to this last night, how pre All-Star break, the lineup will look very different than it does post All-Star break. And the trade deadline, obviously, you might see some moving pieces, a couple guys, the veterans maybe departing at that part. And, Will Dawkins has kept us on our toes for the most part. So you just never know what move Washington's going to make. The starting lineup, there might be a lot of minutes that free up especially late in the season. So that might be an opportunity for Will Riley to thrive. Before we take a break here, Abdullah, let's get into Jamir Watkins, the second round pick, 43 overall out of Florida State. A lot of chances to see him throughout the summer league as he was able to play in all 5 games for the Wizards. We'll start with you. What do you give the grade for Mr. Watkins?
Yeah, I got to give the glove. I mean, I know that was Gary Payton, but the way he was getting steals out there, I'll give him a B. Offensively, the game is really, really raw, and that's what we were talking about going into the post-draft review of him at Florida State. A 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan is insane. And we talked about defensively, a guy like him, second round pick, he's going to make his presence known on the court. And I think one game, 8 steals, another game, 5. So that's amazing. That's just something that we haven't had here in DC for so long. Need to bring the D back in DC. I'll keep mentioning it. It's frustrating to see us lose 50-50 balls. And guys like Jamir Watkins, offensively, his game is only going to get better. But defensively, if it's already there, that's going to only improve. And who knows the heights to that. I can't wait to see how he does his rookie season. I want to see him get a lot of minutes early on because this team is young. It all goes back to the whole protecting that top 8 pick and also the whole 2-way contract situation with him only being able to play a max of 50 games. And I think he took advantage of his minutes, especially after the year 2 guys were shut down from the summer league and also the first round picks from this year. Jamir Watkins, he's going to be a guy that can definitely make his way up the rotation.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a B+ as well because of the stock factor that we were able to put into account within the 16 stocks that he had over the 2-game span, that steals and blocks combined, for anyone that's unfamiliar. And then the summer league record he put up with the 8 steals. So 8 steals for Jamir Watkins, 8 blocks for Alex Sarr at one point. Had a bunch of records defensively broken. So love to see how the Wizards are trying to embrace the way they play defense. But that's what Jamir Watkins is all about, is his defensive ability and what he's able to do on the floor from that realm. He gets a B+ and not any higher than that, just because a little bit inefficient offensively, but that's because he's going to be a work in progress. Chris Miller alluded to this as well, that he was very excited to see him take a whole bunch of 3-pointers because that's the kind of role he might carve out for himself when he does get his opportunities with the big boys in the NBA. Is a guy that gets it done on defensively, and they already know that they can trust him on that end of the floor. He's a 24-year-old guy. He's polished. He's played against some of the best competition now for years at Florida State. And once he gets the offensive game under wraps, if he's able to develop a jump shot from the outside like they're hoping, then maybe, just maybe, you have your 3-and-D dude of the future that can legitimately take over games the way Lou Dort did in the NBA Finals. So B+ for Jamir Watkins. Loved what I saw to him. I'm excited to see him continue to grow his game in the preseason and probably with the Capital City Go-Go for a point of the year, and then at the NBA. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the year 2 guys and where they grade throughout their 2025 Summer League performance here on Locked On Wizards. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track all of my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. Easy to use, fast to pay out. What beats that? And makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching my bet ride into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Let's talk about the year 2 guys here as they get upon this sophomore season in this Wizards young core. The 3 first-round picks from a year ago. And let's just start with Alex Sarr because there's a lot to dissect from his game throughout the Summer League. I'll go first here. I'm going to give Alex Sarr a B because kind of like Will Riley, it was a night and day difference from the former number 2 overall pick. The first game, very passive, very tentative, and did not look like himself offensively that we were used to seeing in the second half of the season. But we were kind of accustomed to that style of Alex Sarr basketball throughout the first half last year, where you just see that he is raw offensively, just opportunities where you could find himself or he could find himself with an easy opportunity at a bucket at the rim, and he's just unable to finish in those situations or doesn't quite make the right decision. And it's something that's just going to get better with time and reps. His efficiency hopefully does go up, because what I said last year, he's a guy that was under 50% from the field. At over 7 foot, I don't feel like that's acceptable unless you're taking a boatload of 3-pointers, which he kind of was, albeit did hit over 100 3-pointers. As a 7-footer, you should be the most efficient player on the floor. You should be converting on most of the opportunities because you are right there at the rim. You need to show the firepower, the tenacity, the dog in you, if you are, for Alex Sarr to get those buckets at the rim. But we saw a completely different guy in game number 2, a summer league record, 8 blocks, and he made his presence felt around the painted area as well. He put up 16 points, 12 boards, rebounding. Another thing where, and Chris Miller touched on this as well, is that it's really just an effort thing, and we need to see that day in, day out for Alex Sarr. What's it going to take for him to give the effort he did against Brooklyn in the second summer league game for 82 games? Because I feel like we've gotten to the point where we know Alex Sarr is going to be a high-end starter in the NBA, but can he be a superstar player? He needs to figure a lot of his aspects of his game offensively out in order for that to come true.
And I give him a B plus, Ben, because that 8 block game was just, I mean, he had Danny Wolf and I'm blanking out his name, the guy from Gonzaga,
Timmy.
Timmy, yeah. He had them seeing ghosts out there, being afraid to put the ball in the rim because they knew Alex Sarr was going to come out of nowhere and swat it. Offensively, he started off really slow in both games, but needs to crank it up early on in the first quarter. I think if you're the biggest dude on the court, Ben, you mentioned it, and I completely agree. You have to be the most aggressive. You have to be the most efficient. You have to be getting the most rebounds with his frame. And the big reason with him why I'm being so patient is, again, he came from the Australian League. The transition from the Australian League to NBA, it takes a while. And he's such a young guy. And last year, he only got better. I still remember people calling him a bust after a couple of summer league games. And then later on, early in the year, he drops 34 against Nikola Jokic, and the Wizards ended up winning that game. There's so much offensive potential for Alex Sarr, and defensively, he's only going to get better when he's already pretty good. I give him that B plus. I probably give him an A, but there were times where we're just fading away from the basket or just taking shots where it's like, yo, put your body on someone or put your back to the basket. And I'm hoping that he definitely improved on that this upcoming year. And I think he has the potential to be a top 7, top 5 center in this league, but it'll take some time. But, man, I can't wait to see how his game unfolds this upcoming year.
Alex Sarr is such a roller coaster to watch for me because I love him as a prospect. I love what he does out there every single night. But sometimes I just want to scream watching him. Like during the summer league game, I get an opportunity where he's right there at the basket. Instead of going up and dunking it, he kind of fades away. I'm like, just go up strong, Alex. And I feel like I'm going to say that a lot throughout the season, but that's the kind of process that you're going to get there from Alex Sarr. But I do think he will break through for this team here in year number 2. Another key year number 2 guy I expect to break out, Keyshawn George. Abdullah, you're up.
I know it's kind of hard because this is perfect, but I got to give him an A plus, Ben. I mean, I think he really looks like he could be the best player out of the 3, which is insane to me because I'm so high on Alex Sarr. I love Bub Carrington out of B more, but Keyshawn George, I mean, that first game against the Suns, taking it right up the gut to Kama Malawach, who's 7'2". I mean, the guy just looks like a baller out there. The game looks so slow to him. The second summer league game, he had 5 steals, so versatile. I really think he has a legit shot of having a breakout year come year 2. And it's amazing because last year I thought he would play a lot of his games in the Summer League Go-Go. The Capital City Go-Go, Summer League Go-Go. It's just amazing how a guy like him, who really I didn't think much about out of the 3, might potentially be the best player out of the 3 come year 2. So he had a great summer league. I wanted to see more out of him, but again, he got shut down after that second game. Keyshawn George, man, he is legit a dog. I saw it today. I forgot who posted it, but a video of him working out. He's going to be so fun to watch this year.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see the year two breakout for one Keyshawn George. He gets an A for me, and albeit a 3 for 14 performance in the second game, I think he pressed a little bit. But I felt like that was uncharacteristic for him. So good on both ends of the floor and looked more confident than maybe other than Trey Johnson in game number one. Like the beginning of that first game, Keyshawn George was the only dude other than Trey out there that I was saying, wow, like it looks like he came to play today, and George just fit the mold. I'm so high on him. The workout stuff that I've seen as well, and how much the front office has preached to the choir about how good Keyshawn George is going to be this year. I am buying all the stock in Keyshawn George right now. Like I am buying the hell out of it. So let's get a Keyshawn
But
George.
that
You're
Ben,
getting an
a
A.
big thing you mentioned the inefficiency second game. I have so much confidence in him that if he's not showing up offensively, defensively he's gonna be there. That goes back to
Exactly.
versatility, man. He is a dog with a capital D, and I can't wait for him to see how he performs this upcoming year because again, he's around so much talent. Year one of Trey Johnson, year two of Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington. The whole idea of having a lot of talent on this team, it's gonna be exciting, man.
100%. Before we take our next time out, let's quickly hit on Bub Carrington, new role for DC's new point guard, and I'm going to give him a B minus. I think he showed a lot defensively throughout the summer league. Was one of the best on-ball defenders we saw throughout the only 2 games that he played. But still, some of the struggles we saw from him offensively were the ones that we saw consistently toward the end of the regular season, where he wasn't able to get his shot at the rim very well, beat his man off the bounce. And I just think it's a work in progress for Bub Carrington. There's going to be a lot of aspects of his game that are going to grow this year. The kid is 20 years old. He played in all 82 games, which is just an unbelievable feat for him. Last year, only 7 guys in the league were even able to do that. So it says a lot about him. I know he's a guy that's a gym rat. He is out there competing with his new guard mate and Trey Johnson in the backcourt every single day. Those guys having shooting contests. I'm high on Bub Carrington just overall for the performance. I'll give him the grade I did just because, a couple of aspects I feel like he struggled in, also only played in 2 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B. I think the inefficiency in game one, to me, it wasn't concerning because I know Bub, when that shot it's going. That mid-range shot, it's very, very lethal. One thing that I wanted to see him work on is being more aggressive. I want to see him more in the free throw line. Last year, played in all 82 games as a rookie, which is very, very impressive. I always mention it. Hitting a game winner, the last regular season game when you're not making the playoffs. It definitely brings momentum going into your year two season. It gives you confidence. And that second summer league game, I think he had a 3-pointer at the end of the game, which ultimately sealed the deal against the Brooklyn Nets. He's going to be really, really good. I think you get a dog out of him too. He just looks like a guy who can not only facilitate, but defensively, the size, he can go out there and rebound, get steals, blocks. I can't wait to see how he does with the Jordan Poole out of DC. He's right there giving the keys. And again, I'll go back to it. Will Dawkins has so much confidence in this dude because he was the one that traded Denny FD to acquire Bub Carrington. Slow summer league, but he got better as it went on. And I can't wait to see how he does year two because the amount of reps that he's going to get, the offensive shots that he can create, I'm hoping a big year out of him.
Absolutely. All right, one more segment to go. We got to wrap things up and rank the final 2 guys we have on our list that need grades for their performance in the summer league. Stick with us, Locked On Wizards. We are flying through this episode. 24 minutes in. I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about, but I guess I'll have to put it on the back burner. Capital One Arena renovation. I just wanted to discuss that because of the news that came out today with the RFK Stadium deal getting close to getting done for the Washington Commanders. And obviously, DC is putting so much public money into Capital One Arena's renovation, but we have not really got an update on that since late May. So I kind of wanted to talk about that, but maybe we put that in the back burner for another episode. AJ Johnson, a guy that probably benefits after the buyout for Marcus Smart over the past weekend. Does that free up minutes for him as a backup point guard here in Washington? That remains to be seen. I am going to give AJ Johnson a C plus. And I know he did score the ball very efficiently in his last game of the summer league. But I think throughout the entire contest, it's tough to make what we really saw from AJ Johnson, because the last couple games he was playing in, he's playing with a lot of guys that, will probably never see the NBA floor. And that makes it a lot more difficult on him. I know we saw big inefficiency from him in game number 4, but a massive improvement in game number 5. I think the previous couple games, obviously, he wasn't playing as many minutes with some of the other guys. They're going to have larger roles on the team this year, taking the bulk of that. The flashes were there, but a lot of AJ Johnson's issue for me was too much of playing at one speed. I'd like to see him, add some misdirection to his game, find a way to facilitate a little bit better. And I think that's something that is going to get better with time, because he is 19 years old. Like, he is one of the youngest, fresh looking kids out there, an athletic freak. I saw a video of him putting up some dunks yesterday, and my God, he should probably be in the dunk contest.
I was going to say, Ben, I need to see him in the dunk contest.
Dude jumps out of the damn gym and like, get out of his way if he is coming down the lane with the basketball. But still a work in progress. AJ Johnson, he's going to benefit from minutes off the bench big time this year. I have a lot of faith in the potential for AJ Johnson. So take the C+ grain, I'm saying, with a grain of salt. I'm just basing this based on my observation from the games he played, and I don't think that has anything to do with the potential I think he has.
Yeah, I got to give him a B-. I like how he finished off the summer league against the New York Knicks with that performance, but then there was one game where he had like 20 points off 20 shots. Efficiency, that's the key theme with AJ, and you brought up misdirection. The guy is so freaking fast, that first step, and if he uses that to his advantage, he can really make some easy opportunities for him. Last season, I remember going into the playoffs, he was going out there and gave some good reps down the line during clutch moments, and he showed up, and I'm hoping he can build off that. And you mentioned Marcus Smart being out, gives up the opportunities between him and Dylan Jones, who we're going to talk about. They're going to be fighting for minutes off the bench. I think he could be a guy that can score in like bunches. He can go out there and just get a bucket on his own. I want to see his playmaking get better, that hopefully that he'll get to. And again, it goes back to how you got him for Kyle Kuzma. AJ Johnson, first round pick from last year. It's amazing how a talent like him just can be let go and didn't fit Milwaukee's timeline. And I think a couple of years from now, if Giannis leaves Milwaukee, AJ Johnson is going to be a guy where the Bucks were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have given up on him so easily. Not saying he's going to be a superstar, but he can definitely pan out to be a really good sixth man.
I absolutely agree with you there. I just think he's a guy that just needs a lot of work because of the inexperience and the youth that he is. All about youth movement. More youth movement gets added to the team late, just before the summer league. We still saw him out there. Dylan Jones, former 2024 first-round pick, late in that draft. Oklahoma City trades up 5 spots to get him. And here we are talking about his performance in the summer league. Abdullah, I'll give you the first crack at it here for a final guy.
Yeah, I'll give him a B-. I'm almost close to a B. I think when you shut down those other guys, that opened up opportunities for AJ and Dylan. In that last game, Dylan Jones had a really nice performance against the New York Knicks, a guy who can make the game look a little bit slow to him. And I think that's what we want to see from young guards. It's hard being, to me, as difficult as it is as a big man, I think being a guard in this league is the hardest position because you're worried about so many things. You're the backbone of the starting 5. And Dylan Jones, a guy who was traded from Oklahoma City, it's amazing they just won the championship. And Sam Presti traded 5 second-round picks to trade up and get him. And right before the summer league, Will Dawkins makes another move and says, hey, let me bring in Dylan Jones to see what we can get from him. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get this upcoming year because, again, AJ Johnson was here before him, and maybe that might affect that timeline of how he is going to perform here in DC. But I'm excited, and, again, very, very raw, but it's only going to get up from here. And like AJ, I think he's going to probably spend a lot of time in the Capital City Go-Go, but that's fine because I have so much confidence in this Capital City Go-Go because, like I mentioned not too long ago, Justin Champagnie came from there, Isaiah Todd, Jordan Goodwin. They know how to develop players, so if he goes out there, that's fine. I can't wait to see how he does come this season.
Cool. I'm gonna go same boat with you here. I'll give him a B-. I think last game he showed out and led the team in scoring. He does make the game look slow because he's effective when he drives to the basket, but it's not because of a speed thing. You almost get the Jokic vibe because he's able to use his body to create space, especially when he gets around the rim. I think he did that pretty effectively. It's going to be one of those things where they're going to have to work on developing his game, developing that skill set, and seeing how that translates. I think he did hit on the head. He's a guy that could be a candidate for some go-go minutes, and I know he spent his time in the G League last year. Didn't really get a fair rap there with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but a fresh situation to begin here with the Washington Wizards. Looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. That's it for the grades throughout the Summer League. It took full 30 minutes. We got through it, but that was a lot of fun, Abdul. I will say it's always fun to really give our full assessment on what we saw.
Yeah, one last thing. This is off topic, but we talked about arenas. Did you hear what Stephen A. Smith said about the Commanders and Ravens? How they should share a stadium?
Does someone wrote that out for him. I don't think he actually even thinks that. There's no chance.
Like, I'm sorry. I know this is basketball, the Wizards, but when I saw that, I'm like, yo, like, what the heck, bro? That this dude gets paid $100 million and suggests that. Maybe someone wrote it for him, but like, they're different conferences, bro.
Yeah, and the two stadiums are like 45 miles apart. Like, nah, this miss me with that, Stephen A. But that'll do it for Locked On Wizards. Fun episode today, grading everyone throughout the Summer League. One more episode to go for the week, so you be sure to tune in for that. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Wizards if you somehow haven't already. If you're an everydayer and you haven't hit that subscribe button, do that now. Follow us on all of our socials at Locked On Wizards. Check us out on Instagram, trying to grow there. And of course, on the X app as well. Be sure to check out Abdullah on the X page, the DMV Sports Zone page. Really great DC sports content there. You can check me out on Twitter at Ben Strober Media or on Instagram at Strober Sports. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. For your second, find the Locked On NBA podcast where there's no off season. Doug, Matt, and Hayes keep you up to date on contract negotiations, rumors, and everything you need to be the most informed NBA fan. Find Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. That's Abdullah Yubi. I'm Ben Strober. We're out.